And we have our last interview of the day right here on Entertainment Thursday, and I'm also excited for this one. It is a play. It's called African Twist. So we'll get to understand what the African Twist is all about. I have with me on set the director of the play as well as two cast members. On my immediate right is the director, that is Nicholas Kigondu. Welcome to the show. Why did you put it?
Because I'm Martin.
Right. Okay, we also have one of the cast members, the beautiful Elizabeth Ngina. Welcome to the show. And then we have also another cast member, that is Brian Gaitan. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Okay, let us begin by let's just dive in. The African Twist. What is it about?
Fantastic. The African Twist, the easiest way to say is people would relate the twist dance move with the 60s. Yeah, but
twisty.
Yes, twisty. It was a twisty.
Yeah.
Exactly. But it was in a way also a movement, the beginnings of Benga and the beginnings of Kenyan music. Really, yes, of course we had traditional music, yes, but we're now talking urban settings, we are talking about the club scenes, we are talking about hits that would go on to be worldwide phenomenons. Yeah, for instance, Fadeli William and Malaika, you know, so such songs, so that age, and a lot of people will think of Zilizopendwa and associate that with, you know, all the guys right here, but in truth, music in the 60s was by the young, for the young. So Twisty, yes, was played by 20-year-olds in their miniskirts and in their afros, and it was a good time. So this particular production is looking back at that. The idea is to do music in the different, every 10 years, so 70s, 80s, 90s. So before we get to the Isas and the Steve-O's, we have to go back and see who began all this.
Yeah. Go back to where it all started, you know. Ngina, you came looking the part, you know, if the setup is the 60s, of course the afro was the in thing for the ladies and the gents too.
Yes.
Yeah. So just tell me about you being part of this cast.
Okay, so it is, first of all, let me just say, it is such a beautiful experience to be part of the African Twist, looking at it from the perspective of being a Gen Z in this time and taking a peek at the 60s. So I try to look for the correlation between now and then, and I've realized the more things are changing, the more they remain the same. Fashion was still an in thing at the time, it's still an in thing now. How the young people enjoyed music right now, they still did enjoy it like really hard still in the 60s. Yes.
Yeah. So there's no much difference really.
Not much. Like there are aspects of it that have changed, but the more things change, the more they remain the same. Yeah.
Okay. Brian, to you also, just for the audience to get to know who you are. So you're an actor.
Yeah.
Yes. On a stage actor. I'm a
both film and theater.
Both film and theater.
Yeah.
So tell me your experience on African Twist.
Wow. The experience is good, and it's a play that it is just showing me as an actor and also as a person and a Kenyan, like how much wealth we have as a country, but we keep ignoring it. As Kenyans, we keep thinking that the outside is the best, but we have the best of the best in our country. But because of all sorts of things, we keep getting convinced that what is coming from outside is the best. Because when you look at, I'm trying not to give spoilers, but when you look at the play, it's inspired by real life stories. And these are people who lived, these are people who left us with their songs. And when you listen to a song that was recorded by a Kenyan in Kenya in the 1960s, and in those days we didn't have things like Instagram or whatever, but it managed to shoot all the way to Europe, all the way to America. And at that time, there's no other country that was managing to do that. You're like, wait a minute, we are the ones who are just downplaying ourselves, just seeing ourselves as not good.
Yeah.
But the African twist has made me realize that we are the best.
We are good enough.
We are good enough.
We got this.
We got this.
I love that.
Yeah.
So now, to you, it's a play with music. So would you call it a musical, or is there a difference between a musical and a play with music?
Definitely, there is a difference. The biggest difference between the two is when it's a musical, the music is moving the plot forward. Meaning the lyric of the music is, say, for instance, there's been this recent musical around Christmas. The green and the pink and the witches and what is that?
Grinch?
Is it the Grinch? There's the Cynthia Erivo one.
Oh, okay. With
yes,
Storm?
Wicked.
Wicked. Yeah. Yeah.
Good. So in Wicked, you'd find, for instance, the lyric would be, I am angry, I am moving, and I will sing, and I will be the best. You know, so the lyric of it is telling the story and moving it forward, so that whatever is happening in the next scene is related to whatever they've just sung about. Then it becomes a musical, where choreographed dance and music are attached to the plot. But when it's a play with music, the music does not necessarily need to be moving the plot forward. So for instance, this particular one, we focus a bit around the controversy of the song Malaika. The world, even if you Google right now, you'll see that it is attributed to someone in Tanzania, but that's not the truth. They have a Kenyan writer who wrote and sang this.
Oh, it's attributed to someone in Tanzania?
Yes, yes. And a lot of people would think this is true, especially because it's actually Mariam Makeba who said this, but she got the information wrong from Tomboya. And the play will look into this, and so we'll have moments where we'll sing this song and other songs, but they don't necessarily need to be attached to the moving of the plot forward in that very scene. The whole thing is set in a bar, and so in the bar, there's music in the background, because these guys weren't doing concerts of like 30, 40,000 people. They were moving around in, like what Mugidi is doing now.
Yeah.
Like, it's big in Kisumu, it's big in Eldoret, where you go, you have singers moving around, just playing benga. So yeah, so that is what we are focusing on, the story around the music. Then it becomes a play with music.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what role do you play in the play?
I play the role of a lady called Zambi. She's one of the part of the elites of the times, like a daughter of the elites of the time who really love the arts. So she's all about music and like trying the diverse kinds of the time. So as much as she enjoys benga, she also enjoys like more diverse international music. Yes.
Yeah. How about you, Brian? What role do you play, and what's the most exciting thing for you on that role?
I'm playing Jack Sigonia, and I just love the human part of him. He's a man struggling to get back to where? Spoilers. But I love the human part of him. Like, he's so human. His struggles are so human, and his needs are very human. And I love that.
You love that,
Yeah.
that about that character. What do you love most about yours?
I love how expressive she is, like how she, like say for her, dressing is not just any other dress, it's a statement. I love how she, because I do understand it's a character who has in her own right been through quite much and is not the most conventional person at the time. So she's a person, if people are dressing a certain way, she expresses herself through fashion mostly. Yeah, I love that about her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So how was it like directing this show? How different is it from the shows that you've directed? Because you're not new to the scene.
Yeah.
You've been doing this. So what is unique about this one?
The most unique thing about it is it's not a straight play, meaning no music, heavy on dialogue. It is not that. and it's not a musical, so it's smack in the middle, where we have music in there, we have dance in there, and we have a lot of dialogue. Number one, working with, I wouldn't call them new, but most of them have fairly 5-6 years in the game, some a year, 2 years, even less. So one, working with a cast that is super talented, but also very new, quote unquote. That is different. Two, we're also working with a first-time playwright, meaning I also had to come on board for script consultation. And the writer is prolific at everything else but that. Yeah, so they are prolific, creative activist. Paul Kelemba, known as Mado. So we know Mado from the cartoons.
Yeah, he's a cartoonist.
And he has a very, very polished point of view as that. And he brings that wit and that style into his writing as well. So that is new as well, because now you have a very strong point of view that you sort of guide towards the vision they had, or even bigger. And number three, it's based on a friendship of a couple of governments. So the Germans and the French are supporting it because they are celebrating their Friendship Day. So years ago in the 60s, right around 10 years thereabout after the Second World War, we had countries across the world just shaking hands and saying, you know what, we're good now. So because of that, they sort of celebrate every 22nd of February, which was yesterday, that friendship. Yeah, it's called
February or January?
January.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm thinking of Valentine's. Yeah, so every January. So yeah, it's part of that, part of just saying, yeah, let's celebrate friendship of nations, especially now, especially with the new leaderships around the world. So yes, so these three things, collaboration and friendship of countries, a new team, quote unquote, and the second one was the merger of the music and the air, but also a new sort of playwright. Yes.
Okay. Without giving away too much, you know, so that people will come watch it, you know, and not feel like, okay, we've already known everything that's going to happen in the play. Without giving away too much, what's your best scene of the play?
My best scene.
Yeah.
I think any scene where we get to sing, because we get to dance a lot, to sing a lot, to just enjoy the music, because in those scenes they bring about like how the vibe was in the like if you go and like say on YouTube and see maybe like something that they recorded at the time, there are scenes that bring that exact vibe in the play. Those are my favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this something that you would advise also? Okay, who are your target audience?
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking if maybe my mother comes to watch the play, it will be a nostalgic moment, maybe, because if what she's saying goes, you know, like it's a feel of how things were. So maybe, yeah?
Oh, target audience.
Yeah.
You're very right.
Yeah.
So we are targeting, one, the younger generation, but also two, the older generation. The older generation is, it's a throwback time. We remember those words, man, like when Mambo Motela was young and, you know, and all out here. But on the other side, the youngins who have no idea where this music came from. Most of these musical references we hear from BN and Sauti Sol, they're like, oh, that's such a killer hook. But then, kumbe it's a Zilizopendwa song. So it's good for them to also see where it all began.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, for you, Brian, which is your favorite beat? Like favorite scene? Scene is the word. Yeah, which is your favorite word?
I think every scene.
Yeah, no, you have to pick one.
I mean,
you have to paint that picture for us. So tell us one.
The reason why I'm saying that is because the way the guy, Mato, and Paul structured the play, it's like every scene has something unique that the other scene doesn't have. So every time you get to a scene, there's something unique that you won't get in the scene 2, 3, 4, and scene 2 also has its own unique thing. Maybe
Kind of spoilers. Go for it.
Maybe the scene that I'm given to dance, that I'm asked to dance. That might be my
your favorite.
Yeah.
Because you're not really a dancer, or because you enjoy dancing?
Because I'm not a dancer.
So it was.
And because it's also, as I said, this character I'm playing, most of the things he's doing are things that we human beings do. There are things that he's chasing. There are struggles he's trying to deal with. There are needs, and given a chance to stand in front of people and dance and be appreciated is something that he has been looking for. Yeah.
Okay.
What a spoiler.
And also, Vivian, to add on the target audience, I feel like for everybody who's Kenyan, that's part of their history.
Yeah.
So I feel like every Kenyan is a target audience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it cuts across. As
Yeah.
long as you're Kenyan,
You'll
the
enjoy
target
it.
audience.
Yeah, it's one of those things that it's until you see it and you're like, whoa, I didn't think I wanted this. But once you watch it, you're like, yeah, I'm glad I did. Yeah, it's one of those things.
Because
Yeah.
the way Mato said, it's a play that to us, it looks like it's for the old people, but the characters that are in the play are young people. And it's a story about the young people of 60s. So it's a play that reminds those who are in their 60s, 70s, it reminds them their 20s and their 30s and their teens. And even the young ones of today, when they come, they will get to see that, oh, it's not an old man with some gray hair or in front of him with a microphone, with a guitar. No, it's not that. It's a young man who's trying to find a living through music.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we need to wind up this interview, but before we do, I'm sure maybe there's a young person or several young people who are watching right now, and they know they're good at acting, but they never get these gigs. You know, wanashindwa kwani watu upataje hizi gigs? You know, kwani amepataje. So is there a place where you call for auditions and whatnot? This is just for someone who's looking to get into that industry, but they don't know where to start. So do you call for auditions and where to get that?
Yeah, so for instance, this one we definitely called out for auditions, but my all-time advice is always start where you are, you know? Depending on your age, if you're in school, start in school. If you're at church, start there. You know, the thing about performing is we always think we are heading towards it, yet it's a thing we can do in the now. So if they can play it there, then who knows? Whoever's watching might just pick them from there, or they'll have sharpened their muscle enough by the time opportunity is coming their way. They're ready.
Yeah.
So don't just make it a dream. Start. That's the difference between us and everyone else. A doctor has to go to med school. An actor just needs to start practicing. So start where you are. Don't DM me, you know. Just come for workshops. Go and watch plays, go and watch movies, and after that engage with these people. Be curious. How did you? How could you? Where could I? You know, show up there, but always remember this is not a tool you need to even study for. Being a human being is good enough. Because the thing about acting, we are reflecting what it is to be a human, and you have that, unless you're AI, you know. So start where you are. Whatever you have in your hands is good enough.
Okay, so when is the play showing? Do we say showing for plays as well? Amazing.
Yeah.
So when is the play showing? Where? Just give the details.
Okay. First of all, the play. The play.
I can also pray after this.
Thank you very much. You can make it a priority. The play is free of charge. Free of charge. All one has to do is make a booking on the link, but they can also just show up at the Allianz. Yeah, so it will be at the Allianz Francais from tonight, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Thursday and Friday, the show is on at 6:30 p.m. in the evening. Then Saturday and Sunday, we have a 3 and 6 p.m. Yeah, the show is 2 hours long, and it's a 2-hour-long show of great fun and good vibes. We promise you by the end of the show, you'll want to know who Daudi Kabaka is, John Zenze is, Fadhili William is, and them likes.
Amazing.
Yeah.
All right, it was a pleasure having you on set. Thank you so much for coming. And yeah, we will come for the show and just get to experience it. So thank you, Brian. Thank you, Gina and Martin Kigondu. Thank you so much to each and every one of you who has been tuned in to Entertainment Thursday. It was a ball right here. I had a good time. So I hope that that energy bounced back to you. And I also hope that you got to enjoy yourself, because over here, we've had fun for sure. This is where we end it. And my name is Vivian Ndagwa. Remember, we do this each and every Thursday, same time and place. So we do this again next week, God willing. I normally get to learn a bit of things on the decks, but today haitakuwa ile siku, unfortunately. So we'll do it next week. We'll actually be having Afri Thursday, which will be concentrating on one community. And all, the music will be about just one community from the 254. You definitely want to be there for that. Goodbye.